It is Prime Edition time, and of course, when the clock goes ticking 9 p.m., it is definitely time for you to get information regarding business news on Smart 24 TV. I am Joram Paul Sonko. Many thanks for joining us. It is a Wednesday, cold Wednesday night in the areas of Kampala and the suburbs as well. But hey, we're definitely here to make sure that we drive your business. Thank you for joining us. All right, now let's get it started with our very first story, as the Parliamentary Committee on Defence today met with the Ministry of Security as well as the Minister of Works and Transport for explanations on the joint company that took the deal to install trackers in the vehicles, as His Excellency Yoweri Museveni had ordered. According to General Katumba Wamala, this technology will help in curbing criminality, though it's very costly.
Transport General Katumba Wamala has emphasized the importance of his tracking devices before the floor of Parliament.
For registration, right? Now this technology is coming in to create a total solution in terms of, because we only ourselves, we may not be able to track the criminals. We have the details of the numbers and all that, but we need that system to create a total solution that if somebody, let me use myself as an example. If that border guy who hit me on the 1st of June, if we had this system, then we would not be going around in circles looking for where he is. That's what this system is bringing on to enforce the registration, which is also now automated, because it's going to be a total solution. That's why we call it a total solution. And also to enforce the police cameras, because the cameras alone may not be able to track that criminal.
It's been a while now when members of Parliament have been eager to meet the ministries concerning the project of installing tracking devices into vehicles. But after, members wanted the government to bear the cost of these services, but not the people.
I still want to indicate that should we go forward with this program, government should bear the cost. Ugandans are already stressed. You know, people are children, some of the children are at home because their parents lost their jobs. They are unable to pay school fees. Some of the parents have these vehicles and they may be, using them for other things, but their income has been affected over the 2-year COVID period. Now, you are bringing this and saying I should meet this cost, however small it may be. That is a cost on a Ugandan. I have already paid my taxes, I've already paid for the number plate, I've gotten my number plate. If you want to remove it from my vehicle, then you should meet this cost as government. Why are you passing this cost back to us?
Furthermore, Honorable Chuanuka Abdallah, Member of Parliament, wants government to determine the actual amount it will cost because he feels it might be a common person paying.
Government has not determined how much in total, how much it may subsidize. It appears the final cost will be at the discretion of the private party to determine the cost of the number plate, of installing. Who is going to determine that? Yes, Honorable Minister, further you referred to Article 4.
In the minister's response to knowing the costs of money that will be issued, General Katumba Wamala says there will be a plan and a system before that will clearly help people and does not affect them.
We go into that implementation, we must have even plan well and have a migration path, because we have companies now which are doing the printing of the number plates. But if we are going to migrate, because with the security implantment of that detail, we may have to bring these companies on board. But to get out of the old system, we need to have a migration path, which does not injure the end user, which does not hurt the end user, one way or the other. My commissioner will talk about even why.
In other issues raised, the Minister of Security, Honorable Jim Mwezi, reduced the fears of honorable members that this system will be connected to other systems for security reasons, but on any person that has not committed a crime.
Responded to by my colleague and the technical people. The whole project is to integrate with CCTV, with NITA, with everybody, so that we have information all the time. The other point I want to emphasize, which my colleague talked about, no one is going to be interested in the movement of any vehicle if there is no crime concern. No one. It's like CCTVs. They are there, they are monitoring, but no one is interested unless a crime is reported, and then the police can use the system in order to expedite the investigations.
All right. Now, still with Prime Edition, government has launched a 6-year investing in forests and protected areas for climate smart development project, which is designed to improve sustainable management of the forests. It was from the same platform that Honorable Sam Chepotris, the Minister of Water and Environment, underscored the need to modernize Ugandan forests to attract tourists for more foreign exchange. Pedison Mumbere has the details.
Forests are home to over 80% of all wild fauna and flora in Uganda, while supplying 90% of the Uganda's energy needs, generating 60% of the country's tourism income and providing jobs for over 1 million Ugandans. Forests also provide vital ecosystem service and resources essential to socio-economic development. The government has therefore today launched a 6-year investing in forest and protected areas for climate smart development project that is meant to improve sustainable management of forests. The IFPA project, which was financed by the World Bank and the government of Uganda, has 4 components like improving management of forest protected areas, increased revenues and job creation from forest and wild protected areas, as well as improved landscape management and refugees hosting areas. During the launch, the Minister of Water and Environment, Honorable Sam Chepotris, says there is a need to modernize the Ugandan forest to attract more tourists.
These forests are giving the country a huge income. Our forests are unfortunate in Uganda. I don't know what to say. I think they'll give us virtually no income. Virtually no income because we have not invested in them. So I'm very happy. In fact, the first thing I asked Margaret was, are you going to have roads, toilet facilities? Are you going to have reception centers and what have you in our forests? She told me that was going to happen. So I'm really very happy, very excited about this project. I hope it will turn around our tourism. Because our forests, we have 506. We have 506 Central Forest Reserves, which are giving us no money. I don't know whether Okello gets money, but I think you just get very little. But if you develop these forests, I think we would really benefit greatly.
The project objectives are aligned to the National Development Plan 3 strategic objectives. The NDP 3 suggests a theory of change in implementation reforms and promotes a program approach to planning, budgeting and implementation. The IFPA CD project approach is consistent with the National Development Plan 3 approach. Specifically, the IFPA CD project directly contributes to 2 National Development Plan 3 programs, which include Water, Environment and Natural Resource, Climate Change Management Program, and Tourism Development.
So, I pray that when this project takes off, we should think of developing other tourist areas, like Mount Elgon, where I come from. We need to develop some of these forests, game parks.
Mentioned, but I just wanted to say that there are transformational investments with regards to building resilience to climate change, mitigating greenhouse gas emissions through the activities in the forestry sector. And therefore, the project will deliver some mitigation impacts through scaling up tree planting, but also some adaptation impacts through the work on dealing with fuel wood and carbon sequestration, as well as agroforestry and community woodlots. In addition, it will boost post-COVID-19 economic recovery, as I mentioned, creating jobs, securing livelihoods, and empowering and engaging women in the management of natural resources.
IFP's CD project contributes to tourism sector development, which focuses on unlocking the binding constraints in the marketing, promotion, human resource development, product development, among others.
We are going to improve infrastructure, and we are going to provide infrastructure and equipment for the management of these protected areas in the 7 forests. We shall plant 36,500 hectares of plantations across the country, and we shall also have agroforestry in the refugee landscapes, because we want to rehabilitate the degraded areas. And all those, we shall also have the visitor centers, tourism, visitor centers, infrastructure developed or refurbished where as need may be. We shall also demarcate central forest reserves and boundaries of national parks and central forest reserves. We know there's a lot of conflict on boundaries within our central forest reserves and national parks, and we thank the project we are going to be able to handle.
However, tourism potential economically is not fully realized due to the underinvestment in access and hospitality infrastructure, limited range of tourism products, and less integrated planning for harnessing the potential. This project is expected to deliver some of these tourism sector needs. Therefore, the IFPA CD project shall contribute to the water and environment sector towards forest protection, restocking forests, forest land reforestation and afforestation, and efficient utilization of the wood value chains, scaling manpower to support wood technologies, and promoting agroforestry.
According to the reports, the project will be implemented in the Albertine Rift and West Nile regions. It will as well cover 18 districts, including those hosting refugees. Pedson Mumbere, Smart 24 TV.
Many thanks, Pedson Mumbere. Now, away from that, General Kahinda Otafiri, the Minister of Internal Affairs, has as well called upon most of the people to capture on... Oh, if you'll forgive me for the meantime. Away from that particular story from Pedson Mumbere, whereby the government has launched a new initiative to clearly see that they fight for climate change, as well as making sure that things do move on accordingly. Because as a matter of fact, if you look at the African Continental Free Trade Area, there is a claim that by 2030, they should emit all effects that cause or have a negative impact on climate in Africa, and not only in Africa, but in the world at large. But besides that, let's move on to that story. That story was gathered and collected by Pedson Mumbere. Now, away from that, General Kahinda Otafiri, the Minister of Internal Affairs, has urged member states of the Afro-Arab Youth Council to embrace solidarity to enhance joint social and economic development. He made these remarks at Makerere University during the 18th anniversary celebrations of the Afro-Arab Youth Council.
The Arab Youth Council was founded in 2004 at the conclusion of the International Youth Festivals of the African and Arab Youth held in Khartoum, auspicious of the National Federation of Sudanese Youth, with support from the government of Sudan. During the 18th anniversary celebrations at Makerere University, the Afro-Arab Youth Council has embarked on promotion of agriculture through the theme enhancing food security through innovations for planetary health attributed to the youth, and also boost the Afro-Arab partnership. General Kahinda Otafiri, Minister of Internal Affairs, has urged member states of the Afro-Arab Youth Council to maintain the spirit of solidarity, as this will be key to accelerate joint economic development against the Western exploitation of African and Arabic countries.
You Africans and Arabs, why do you milk a cow
give the milk to your adversary, and you give him 20 liters of milk, and he gives you back only 5 diluted with dangerous water. You grow cotton, pass it on to the Europeans, they sell you shirts. You mine cobalt, pass it on to Europe, North America, and Japan, they sell you telephones. You mine oil, in the Arab world, Nigeria, you pass it on to the Europeans, they sell you Vaseline. Why can't we sit together as Arabs and Africans and use our resources for the comfort and solace of our people?
His Excellency Abdul Hadi, President Afro-Arab Youth Council, says this partnership is to enable member states empower each other.
It's all about partnership and cooperation and mutual support. Win-win.
ولا نريد أن ينظر للأفارقة أنهم يطلبوا المساعدة والعرب يطلبوا المساعدة.
We don't want it to be seen that Arabs are Africans asking for help, or likewise Arabs asking for help. It's a win-win. It's a cooperation.
نريد التعاون والشراكة.
It's cooperation and partnership.
ونريد للعرب الذين يستثمرون في أوروبا وفي أمريكا نريد أن يستثمروا في أفريقيا.
And for us, we think that we want the Arabs who invest in Europe and America, we want them to come and invest in Africa.
وأيضا الأفارقة يعملوا ويستثمروا في الدول العربية.
And also Africans to work and also invest in Arab countries.
خلق شراكة حقيقية.
We want to create a proper and real partnership.
لأن احنا فضاء واحد.
Because we are in the same space, we operate from the one space.
Dr. Basa Gaba, Secretary General of the Council, says agriculture was the point of emphasis purposed to promote the union of the Afro-Arab nations and also a potential source for employment to fuel economic and social development.
The theme relating to agriculture this time, because it was the theme for the International Youth Day celebrations in August. But also too, we want young people to know that agriculture is the way to go. Agriculture is business. In agriculture there is money. In agriculture is employment or occupation. Agriculture is for everybody, not for ramshackled young people who are not educated or the old people, but youth can dig, can harvest and make money, and also use technology, agricultural technology, to be able to earn money, earn something for their pockets. And it's something very easy to start. It's also good for health, because in agriculture we get the right balanced diet that they can eat. That's why we planted those trees in the schools for them to know how to supplement their food.
Barija Andrew, Smart 24.
All right, many thanks to Andrew Barije. Away from that, the Minister of Land, Housing and Urban Development, Judith Nabakova, has today launched a digital portal which will help citizens access land information instantly, included in the National Land Information System database. Addressing journalists at the Uganda Media Center, Nabakova notes that the public portal will as well provide instant results for the land titles and verifications. This, as Gloria Mbabazi reports.
The Minister of Lands, Housing and Urban Development, Judith Nabakova, has revealed that as part of government's initiative to implement Article 41 of the Constitution, which provides for access to information, the ministry has launched the portal to transform service delivery in Uganda's land sector.
In the beginning of the new year, I pledged to launch the Land Public Portal developed by the ministry as part of government's initiative to implement Article 41 of the Constitution, which provides for access to information. The NRM government also pledged to bring in new innovation that would enable service delivery by making it easy for Ugandans to access land information in an instant way using the technology developed. The Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development today launches the digital portal as part of easing doing business in Uganda. and taking land services closer to the landowners and other users. This being done to transform the service delivery in the land sector and in Uganda generally. The purpose of the public portal is to provide citizens with instant search results for land titles. The portal will also provide instant results on the status of land transactions and verification of parcel details upon payment of a search fee.
Nabakoba says that the purpose of the public portal is to provide instant results for land titles and verification of parcel details upon payment of a search fee that amounts to 10,000 Ugandan shillings.
The purpose of the public portal is to provide citizens with instant search results for land titles. The portal will also provide instant results on the status of land transactions and verification of parcel details upon payment of a search fee of 10,000 Ugandan shillings. Access to using the Land Information Portal shall begin with KCCA Ministerial Zonal Office, which covers Milo, freehold, leasehold land titles in Ichibuga and part of
Victor Owonyu, the technical lead in the implementation of the Uganda National Land Information System public portals, revealed that they are in touch with NITA Uganda and Uganda Revenue Authority in regards to the same issue of the payment gateway, and also noted that registration is simply by opening up an account.
In regards to the issue of the payment gateway, we are already in advanced talks with URA and NITA Uganda to provide us with that service. That will be coming in the next probably a month or two when we implement that gateway. As of now, the available option because of the payment arrangement URA has with us, it couldn't allow us to implement that functionality. But we are already in advance. Now registration is about just getting an account with us in the system. So after registration, you will be requested to pay the money, but you will keep paying that money because it will be debited from the account you have in the system, the one you registered with. So when that money is exhausted, that you uploaded onto the system will ask you to pay again and upload those funds. So every time you have funds on your account, you'll be able to query the system.
It should be noted that the registration is a one-off, as people will have a username and a personal password.
Well, let's head to Pader district, as the education system in Pader requires collective responsibility if it is to improve. This was pronounced in the stakeholder partnership between Sanlam Uganda and World Vision. Let's have the details.
Northern Uganda is one of those areas that are still having a very big gap when it comes to matters of education, and it is because of this gap that the education system in this region has been crippled. Experts believe there is need to increase support to the education sector in the northern Uganda, as well as training of professionals should be conducted from within the region. According to Gary V. Corbett, the Chief Executive Officer of Sanlam Insurance, says that the center of concentration is Padel District because of its vulnerable needs needed in the region.
Their vulnerability tests, and Padel was there. So we said, yes, Padel. We don't have a branch in Padel. We don't own land in Padel. I don't, oddly enough, come from Padel. Padel was top of the vulnerability list.
John Wilson Terahao, the education technical leader at World Vision, asserts that improving the education system of Uganda is not for government, but everybody's responsibility.
Of providing equitable access to quality education because of the challenges, the economic, they are social, they are demographic, they are so many, they are quite many. So government works in partnership with other non-government actors, with the private sector, and this is not abnormal. It is right, it is in order, and we are working with government.
Quality of education is very key transforming a nation, and this should entail having all the necessary factors in place.
And we are also talking about quality. So you cannot talk about quality when children are not going to school. So quality must have children coming to school, staying in school, and they should be able to read and write. They should actually have the competences, the age-appropriate competences. If they're in P1, we expect them to acquire some competences.
Gary says that over 670 millions will be invested in boosting the entire education sector in Padel.
It is all cost, 670 million.
If you want to transform any country, the center of focus should be put on the education, and everybody must be on board. Over thousands of people will therefore benefit from the partnership.
Fred Makubia with that particular one. Have you been to Padar district? I don't know if I was in Padar, and I did visit the Aru Falls in Padar district. Well, over 670 million will be invested in the education sector. Well, away from that, let's speak electricity, as earnings from the electricity exports have increased by 46%. Where does this come from? Uganda earned over 138 billion Ugandan shillings from electricity exports in the year ended January 2022. The central bank has disclosed this report.
According to the data gathered from Bank of Uganda, it indicates that between February 2021 and January 2022, earnings from electricity exports increased to $38.46 million, totaling to 138 billion shillings, compared to the $20.69 million, equivalent to 74 billion shillings earned in the same period ended in January last year. This was a 46% increase from $20.69 million, giving a figure of 74 billion shillings, which was earned in the same period that ended last year. Data from Bank of Uganda indicates that between February 2021 and January 2022, earnings from electricity exports increased to $38.46 million, giving a total of 138 billion shillings compared to the $20.69 million earned in the same period that ended last year. Uganda exports much of its electricity to Kenya and part to Tanzania, Eastern DR Congo, and South Sudan. During the period under review, Uganda exported 411,589 megawatts, which was 44% higher than the 228,884 megawatts that was exported in the same period last year. Electricity exports have been growing, peaking at 41,113 megawatts in January. Uganda produces more electricity than demanded, thus creating a window for the government to explore the export market. Sevia Tumichirize, Smart 24 Prime Edition.
Now it's time for Prime Sport here on Prime Edition. The 2022 Stanbic Uganda Cup round of 16 draw has been held today at the FUFA House. The draws were overseen by the FUFA competitions director Aisha Nalole, who was flagged by the FUFA third vice president Florence Enachuala Chiyinji. Hudson Chigozi has the details.
The 2022 Stanbic Uganda Cup round of 16 draw has been held at FUFA House in Mengo today morning. The draws were overseen by the FUFA competitions director, Aisha Naule, who was flanked by the FUFA third vice president, Florence Enachuala Chiyinji, and FUFA member, Rogers Mulindwa. The round of 16 matches will be played between 20th and 24th March 2022. Defending champions Viper Sports Club have been pitted against FIFA Big League's Kataka FC, while last season's run-up bull will face Solitero Bright Stars at the round of 16 in Kavumba. Regional side Tipisa FC, who eliminated Arua Hill, will face Boma FC at Tara Regional League side, while the winner of the pending round of the 32 game between Express FC and SC Vida will face Onduparaka in Arua. Watso Giants will face UPDF in an All-Uganda Premier League tie, while Mbara City will host Iganga Yanga Tikacheka. Express FC Mukwano Gwabanji is the most decorated club in the history of Uganda Cup, with 10 titles.
Away from the Uganda Cup, the UEFA Champions League continues tonight with the match cracker between PSG and Real Madrid at the Santiago Bernabeu. Well, away from that, Liverpool became the very first English team to qualify for the quarterfinals in this particular UEFA Champions League after they eliminated Italian champions Inter Milan in a 2-1 aggregate, having lost at home to Inter Milan at Anfield yesterday night. Jeff Hudson-Chigozie has more of this as well.
Liverpool became the first English team to book their Champions League last 8 spot with a 2-1 aggregate victory over Italian side Inter Milan following Tuesday night's second leg at the Anfield. They were joined by Bayern Munich, who defeated Red Bull Salzburg via an 8-2 aggregate win. Tonight, the UEFA Champions League will be back in action as Manchester City from England travel to Portugal to seal their place into the final 8 with a 5-0 goals lead that were scored at the Etihad. The big game of the day is Bernabeu.
Sounds of Jeff Hudson-Chigozie. On a day very cold like this one, would you choose coffee or would you go for tea? Anytime is tea time, definitely, but coffee is always a good idea. Well, many thanks for joining us in tonight's broadcast. We were coming to you live from Plot 42 Nile Avenue, making sure that we drive your business from the Prime Edition, taking you through all details to do with business reports. I do hope you've picked up many of these stories. I'm Joram Paul Sonko. Get me on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram at Joram Paul Sonko. How about if you follow us up on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram on at Smart24TV. We can grow your businesses, learn to grow them and expand bigger by advertising with us. Plot 42 Nile Avenue. The website is www.smart24tv.com. With this, we do end up with our Prime Edition. We shall definitely continue driving your business. Tomorrow morning, Smart Means Business will kickstart your morning. Definitely have to catch up with the show. For all from the production as well as the reporters, it is a good night and a goodbye for now.